everyone. I hope traders and investors alike were green today. So we may have a very interesting market tomorrow. Tesla reported tonight the numbers are in line with a revenue beat, but the free cash flow is very low. The margins have been affected due to the cars. A lot of good stuff was said in the call. You know, they are expecting headwinds. There's still headwinds coming out of Germany plant. Still headwinds coming from more than just that. Talked about production of the battery packs, basically the energy packs. Looks like they are expecting that to actually be bigger than the cars, but not financially bigger. So I think a lot of people were expecting that when he has said it's going to be bigger in the car, bigger in the past was the financially bigger, but actually he's saying automotive will be bigger and financially. Just the size and capacity of these energy packs will be bigger. But also stating that lithium prices are dropping, so that's huge. He actually asked, hoping that somebody will start more mines or get more mines going and start taking more out of the ground so that they wouldn't have to. So basically they had enough on their plate. IBM looked really good tonight. Their earnings looked really good. The steel companies were misses. AA reported, aluminum and STLD reported. Both companies were a miss. So we've also heard quite a bit from the banks. The banks don't look too bad at all. The big banks don't look bad at all. The regional banks, they're hurting. Earnings are, numbers are down there. Big banks look really good, and a lot of this is because when everybody got scared, they took the money out of the small banks, ran to the big banks. So the big banks seen growth in deposits. A lot of them, their numbers are really good because capital is expensive, so they're able to charge more for people to borrow money. So the numbers on the banks are actually looking pretty good. But as for Netflix and Tesla, we're seeing some issues there. So we'll have to see what the market gives us tomorrow. Let's get digging through these charts. So we have the oscillators here for the NASDAQ at 56. So we're still here. We have plenty of room to move. Still on the bullish side with plenty of room to move. You see SPX weekly here pushing up. Need to clear that wick on that candle. So we have the breadth chart, and we can see breadth was down today. You can see our moving average is trying to turn back up. We did close green today. We did gap down, but we were able to push back up and close on the highs. So you can see TNX here. So we're seeing some topping issues here. Hopefully we can get that to pull back. That way we can see interest rates coming back in. Looks like they may want to push there. The dollar pushed back up today in between that 9 and 20 right now. VIX, big move down. Broke 1650, closed below 1650. Telling us volatility is coming out of the market. See crude is rolling over. I like the energy stocks here. Watch this gap. I like the energy stocks here. But, we need crude to continue lower for the average everyday person, the economy. Very inflationary. Apple did break the downtrend. So I don't have it drawn here. We talk about a lot in Discord. We got this downtrend on Apple from the beginning of last year, and we've been under that level. We have broken that now, and we closed over it. You see Apple here, nice push up today. It was a slow and steady grind today, that's for sure. Gold right in between this 9 and 20, and this is actually good. So because they kept running for gold, that was a flight to safety the whole time. So seeing these precious metals come in, that's actually a good sign. Like I say, tomorrow could bring a whole new market with Tesla's numbers being off. It's pretty big for the market, so we need to really play the action tomorrow. You can see the advanced decline lines just chopping. AI closed up right on that 9 today. I would say above it, but it's right on it. AMC right in between the 9 and 20. AMC 15-minute chart. You can see this 200 needs to be cleared. AMD 200 needs to be cleared here as well. AMD didn't have the greatest day, so it definitely didn't perform like Apple did. You can see Amazon. Amazon had a decent day off the highs, a little bit closed, but I like where it closed. It closed right up above these candle lines. See if we can respect that and push up. Not sure what Amazon's doing after hours. I know some stuff has definitely pulled back. ARK still respecting this bottom trend line, not really respecting this top yet. If we clear those moving averages, remember you'll have resistance right here as well as it pushes up. So there's plenty of resistance on that chart right now. All those moving averages need to be cleared. You got Abby. Abby flagged into the 20. I don't like them to come down to 20. I'd rather them bounce off the 9. But we look here for support. Strong candle, strong close here today. Starting to see the character change in the money. Money looks like it's trying to come back in on it today. Close back above the 9. If you draw your trend line down there, you just got a flag break. See if we can get follow through off that candle. Trade that just like a follow through candle. If it does gap down tomorrow or pull back tomorrow, look to see if you can hold that daily 9. Look for a bounce here. AMD breaking lower. Watch your 50-day. So AMD touched the 50-day today and tried to push up. Could easily get a move off this 50-day to your daily 9. But watch your daily 9 for resistance. You can see the downtrend running through there. Your daily 9's letting you know there's a downtrend. There's resistance there. AMD on the weekly, still holding the weekly 9, flagged right into the weekly 9. We can push off this flag. MACD's definitely changing character here, but let's keep an eye on it. Affirm, we had this little cupish handle. It's really a rounded bottom. You don't really find a cup clean on the bottom. It's a rounded bottom, but it did put in a little handle, just chopping sideways. I don't know what to say there. I thought we were going to push up at least a little bit, and it just never did it. Affirm intraday, it did have a little intraday pop. It's kind of tower topish there. Remember, you're looking for a bullish engulfing candle going in, or a engulfing candle going in. You have tower tops, tower bottoms. Engulfing candle going in, engulfing candle going out. Square it off. Don't be scared to use the blended candle method to get to make it work. If you have strong candles, use the blended candle method to make it up. Baba's holding the 50-day there. Your 200's right below that. Ally had a good day today. Pushed right into the daily 50, backed up. But you can see when it did pull back, you can see the rejection there and was able to push back up. Banks made a nice move today. Amazon, nice push up. Kind of tower topish there at the end of the day. Amazon, this head and shoulders, I hate to even call this an inverted head and shoulders because it's just so far off textbook. You really should have an armpit here come up and touch like that did. This shoulder is getting very wide. This shoulder is very small. So the symmetry is way off. But we did get over. It doesn't matter what this is. There's a major level of resistance right there that we closed over today. Watch your 50 weekly. You can see this downtrend coming through here. Basically what your 50 weekly is telling you, hey, there's resistance here. MACD is strong. Had a decent day today, so let's keep an eye on this one this week, see if we can continue higher and close. Apple, like I said earlier, we broke that downtrend. You can see Apple here on the weekly pushing up. Nice move. Very nice move today. Boeing trying to push back up as well. It's got to clear those moving averages. Looks like gaps filled. We had gap down. So we have Bitcoin here. We have a little bearish harami on the weekly. Chart looks decent so we're waiting for this weekly 9 to come up. We can hold that weekly 9 and hang out up there. Still doesn't look bad. Daily chart looking a little worse. See where we close. See if we can hold this 20 and possibly push back up. We pushed off from it once already. Just, I don't know. Seeing some weakness here. Boeing, decent day today, and then pull back in. You can see Citi here. Citi with a nice move up. Citi is so the net investment income has risen 23%. They took in about $29 billion in deposits in the last 3 weeks. So Citibank's doing pretty good right now. Big banks, you know how they say big banks are too big to fail. This is why when everybody was looking at the regional banks, we were steady recommending the big banks. If you want to invest in banks, the big banks are the place to be. Unfortunately, some of their small banks can get some big moves, but they're just, if you're looking for safety's in the big banks. Nice move there, right off our support level. You can see Chewy here. Chewy's just been in this downtrend. Tried to push up a little bit today. We'll look at the daily chart in a minute. CVX holding that daily 9. Seeing some weakness in the energy plays. We're seeing weakness in crude. You can see CVX here. Very choppy intraday moves. But that, there's a lot of money in those candles if you're trading them the right way. Charge point trying to push back up into the support level, your daily 9. Looks like we closed above that daily 9, testing the breakout level. You can see Chewy here, this little hammer candle. So we had 2 big down days here. Today we went lower. The bulls come back in, pushed this back up, and closed it. So we have a little hammer candle here on Chewy. See what this acts like tomorrow. You could get a easy trade, possibly depending on where we open. You want a open above this candle, a gap up, open up above this candle and push, or a candle to push up above. Your entry would be when we break this candle line, when we move up above this candle. That would be your entry. You may be able to get a nice trade back up to that 9. Don't get greedy with it. It can be a fast trade. Probably get your gains tomorrow and get back out. There's nothing wrong with that. Coin breaking down here. They were down in pre-market. Consumer staples red today, holding that support level. Delta Airlines, nice move up here. So the airlines, I'm still a little surprised about this. Personally, because you feel like a slowing economy, airlines is the last place to be. But they're saying things look good, so we'll see. LUV did have some issues that provided some nice day trades yesterday, with things being shut down. DraftKings broke out yesterday, nice follow through today. So your entry here would have been breaking the top of this candle wick. Let this candle pull back, let it do its thing, but breaking the top of this candle range is when I would be looking to enter. Lily flagging into the 9. You can see a doji here today. This tells us that we were down here. The bulls come back in and brought it back up. Still, even though it's a doji, it didn't close. It's not a high close candle. It's actually a low close candle. Would be a little bit more powerful if it was a high close candle. But it is important that the bulls did come back in and get it back up above support to close at the end of the day. MACD is changing character here. It's hard to tell what it's doing. This could be coming in for a pinch if we try to push. It's really hard to tell. It's very possible that could pinch. Really need to see what tomorrow's action is like. Breaking out that flag, looking for a move up. Draw your flag. XLE broke below the 9, trying to push back up into it today. FRC finally got a decent candle on it. I mean, well, it's not really a decent candle, but we did push up a little bit today. Starting to see some volume coming back in. So if you are interested in regional banks, maybe I'm still not interested in trading this, not at all, but maybe it could get interesting. I just think there's easier, better places for your money. I mean, there's just easier things to trade. That's all. Google kind of double topish up here, triple topish. Got this little zone. We were able to push up into it, got rejected back out of it, broke back below the 9. We did, we got a high close candle there today, so we did try to push back up. That's a good sign. GME getting back into the earnings gap. We called that out today. IWM, decent push today. Very, very decent push for IWM. Intel gap down. Not much going on there. I'm probably going to take that chart off. Q's push back up and close back above that daily 9 today. MACD's not very healthy. Need to start seeing some volume coming in here too. Another low volume day. Q's nice push up into the day. We did pull back a little bit. Still got a decent close. We closed over that daily 9. Q's on the weekly, it looks like it wants to try to break out of a little flag here. Need that weekly 9 to get up there as fast as possible and act as some support. Lockheed Martin, big down candle here today. So we did have this breakout on Lockheed Martin. This candle right here, what this tells us is the market gapped up. So there was a lot of excitement into this. Earnings, a lot of excitement going on here. So Lockheed Martin gapped up. Lockheed Martin opened up, pulled back at first, and then ripped higher. So but by the end of the day, the bulls, lost control. The bears come in and was able to pull this candle back. So this still gives us a shooting star. A lot of people see this candle green and think that it's not a shooting star because it's not red. Well, a red shooting star is more powerful than a green shooting star because the bears were able to take it below the open. In this case, they weren't, but it's still giving us some topping, some signs of a topping candle. So this candle opened up today and it pulled lower. Your entry would, your textbook entry would have been breaking below this candle body, preferably for me. Sometimes, watch, if you do enter at the candle body, watch your wick because you can still find resistance at that wick and pull back almost into this level of support here. Moderna moving lower here. Moderna intraday kind of flat today. MU pretty choppy here today as well. Mara, so we can see definitely some signs of some topping here. They gapped down in pre-market. We posted some stuff about that. Not really sure what's going on here, but watch it off that daily 9. Merck, watch Merck here. Merck once again, you're back to your 9. Merck's up here right around all-time highs, looking to push back up and put in highs. MACD's changing character, but are we pinching? We pull back. It's not going to take much of a candle to start turning this up. Looks like the RSI is cooling off as well, which we can see. The relative strength versus the S&P 500 today. We closed red here. We closed green there. So the market was definitely stronger than this asset today. Now, if things change tomorrow and they start chasing safety names, this could be the exact one to be keeping your eye on. So it's a slower trader. It's a lower beta stock. It's a really good stock to trade, honestly, because I like the fast stocks. But for newer traders and traders who are busy, this is a good name to trade. If you can't watch the screens all day, that's a very good asset to trade. And even if you can, it's still a good asset to trade. You can see Meta here right in between your 9 and 20. See, trades like Merck is you can get into and let that ride while you're trading other stuff. So it's not a fast mover. You don't have to worry so much. It's you want to keep an eye on it, but you don't have to sweat over it so much. Once it gets going, it goes. It's not a really fast mover. So then lower beta stocks can be really good. So that's what now I don't trade so many at a time. Sometimes we'll have more than one. I'll have more than one asset open, one trade open at a time. But I focus so hard on SPX now. But that's what I used to do is I would trade Tesla daily, Tesla and SPY daily, and I would open trades on lower beta stocks and let them run. Trades like Cost and Coke and just let them run while I'm over here trading instead of trying to trade all fast stuff. Now the money's just SPX. Meta breaking down. SPX can take the money faster you can make it, so please trade the SPY first. Learn to trade the SPY. Learn to get really good at the SPY before you move to the SPX, please. Meta, we have moved lower here after hours as well, moving down with tech. Layoffs come in today on that. MU, we are starting to kind of round here. I'm not really sure what's going on with Micron. Can't really get a real pattern out of it. This big pullback here leaves this big valley, but we are kind of rounding up here. Looks like it wants to roll over. Your MACD wants to roll over, and we definitely are. The market was stronger, so we don't have any relative strength there at all. And RSI is turning over as well. Remember, true relative strength comes from comparison. So you compare it to another asset, which in our case is comparing it to the S&P 500, or for us is the SPY. The RSI judges relative strength from within the individual stock. I like to compare it over the market. Microsoft trying to, you can see today Microsoft pushed up intraday, and then we just got into that chop right there. It's nasty. Some nasty chop, but we did close back above the 9. Microsoft here on a weekly, trying to flag, waiting on that weekly 9 to come in. NVIDIA trying to push up on the 9 and 20 here. We're able to retake that. Bands are pinching. Watch these bands. They look like they want to open up. MACD looks like it wants to pinch and roll over to the downside. So we're going to have to give this one a day. Let's see where a candle opens tomorrow. Definitely on the radar. You can see the intraday move here. Moved up nicely. It was a slow grind. Moved up nicely though. NVIDIA, so broke above the flag on the weekly chart. That candle does not close until Friday, but the flag's broken. We need that candle to close. The NASDAQ We can draw a trend line through here and kind of be a little ascended triangle-ish. We don't really have 3 touch points. Those candles do not touch that line. We only have 2 touch points for the top. But we could draw, so we do have this trend line here. We need to make sure that's drawn. Looks a little double topish right now. So let's see what we get tomorrow. I do like the way this 9's pushing. We got back above the 9. 9 looks like it wants to carry on. So let's see. I don't like the way the markets are pulled back after hours with Tesla. Netflix, you have this little hammer candle here. So this is on volume. Earnings come in. There was some issues there. They did add subs, but they did miss what they had previously guided. So there was some issues here with Netflix, and it did gap down after hours. And you can see it opened, pulled way back, and the Bulls were able to come back in, take back control by the end of the day, and push it back up. Now, they did not give us a high close day. We still closed below the open, but they did cover quite a bit of ground there. So we have a hammer candle there, even though it's a red hammer candle. In this case, a green hammer candle would be more powerful because it would tell us that the Bulls took it above the open and closed for a high close candle. In this case, it's a little bit weaker, but we still have a hammer candle there. The Bulls still come in and pushed it back up. Moving on big volume the last 2 days. Moving on expanding volume. Pendleton here, kind of, well, it's not double top, so we definitely have a lower high. Big move down, use the blended candle method. We talked about this as a tower top using the blended candle method. Moving lower, plug, just been bearish on that name for a while. And you can see the Qs here on the monthly. We still, obviously that candle's not closed, but we're still under that monthly 20. That level needs to be taken out if we're going to push higher. Roblox has gap down. Not good. Roku, too tight for me to even mess with there. Not interested. SPX, decent push up today. We come down. We didn't quite make the 9. We're able to push back up. We're still above that 9. After hours is a different story. We have gap down. Just looking at how we closed. The diamond flagging on that 9, very tight there. You got some small candles. When you see candles this tight is when, you know, it's like a spring being squeezed together. That's when this thing pops. It's probably going to have some price acceleration to it. Keep an eye on that. You could definitely lose the 9 and pull back. And you can see if you extend this downtrend out here on the top of your pattern, even though the pattern's busted, they're still going to offer resistance there. That's what we're struggling with there. SPY, this is a SPY weekly, breaking out above resistance. We did gap down tonight. Once again, you know, the bears, we gap down. Bulls come back in and rip their back up. Market does not want to go down. But the market is down in the 413.09 right now. So we have lost. No, it looks like we're still. Yeah, we're still above the 9. As long as we hold that 9, like to open up tomorrow, be laying right on top of that 9 and push. That would be great. SPY, we are over the 20-day right now, where the Qs is unable to push above that. We are over the 20-day. Just MACD is trying to change character. And yes, we will, understanding that we will probably have a different market tomorrow morning than what we had today, but we will see. It doesn't mean the market's going to crash. And same chart, basically, just set up a little different. You can see the push here on the SPY. We give it back. Nice little contraction pattern. So we called this out today. I have to talk about this contraction pattern. So, and I've been trying to cover more of these, and like I have talked about several times, we're looking for candles trading within the previous range candles, and that's why we had this contraction pattern. This was a really nice setup today. Told the group, hey, you know, these things can make big moves. We know about the center line. In this case, we pulled right down first, shot right back up above. Contraction, expansion, trend. Contraction right there, your expansion phase, shot lower, sprung up, and then trend. Love those setups. They offer really big moves. For such a small pattern, they offer really big moves. Square down today. Still long-legged doji. I don't know what to say there. Pulling back. Starbucks, once again, this was a contraction pattern on the daily. Contraction, went lower, sprung forward, pushed up, coming back in, flagging. Now we're looking for a trend. And here's Tesla down to 170. Big move down. I want to look at the daily chart. We got to look at a few things on the daily chart here. So we're at 170 right now. The XLK, we did dip down on XLK today. It did push back up and get back above that 9 by the end of the day. This is Tesla's weekly. You can see we're holding this weekly 200, but we're down here on the weekly 20 now. So actually, I think we were below that weekly 20. Yeah, we are. We're below the weekly 20 right now. The daily, so we're showing 170. We're below the weekly 20, so that's going to be resistance when we open up tomorrow. We have to pull back up through that. So we're down here, right here. We've took a fairly nice move down. You can see this, the big volume, your volume profile is here, starting to lose quite a bit down here. Now we still got some support, and we can see that this volume profile here acted as support for those candles. So we're pretty much, let's draw this out. Let's just see where we are. We're pretty much going to be opening right up on that next volume shelf, which is considerably smaller than the ones that we've been trading in. So if we lose this right here, now let's even do this. Let's put a price tag on this candle just to give us an idea. The bottom of that candle was 167.87. So 167.87. We're going to look for support at 167.87 tomorrow, which we can see. Look, it lines up here. You can see that's volume profile is volume by time. So this, or volume by price. Your regular volume down here is volume by time. Tells you how much is traded by in each day. This is volume profile. This tells you how much volume was traded within this price action right here, of where it's, of when it was in this section right here. It tells you how much price action, how much volume was actually in that. You can see considerably less than what was here, considerably less than what was here. Look down here, even considerably less. Some gaps to fill. We break below this. I'm not one to bet on Tesla breaking down or anything like that. Please misunderstand me. Play the action. If Tesla pulls down, I'm just showing you some areas that we could easily move. Now there's a good chance they're going to come back in and rip this dip back up tomorrow. I have a good feeling that analysis will be talking very highly of Tesla. The calls, Musk does a great job on them calls. I mean, he really does. He tries to sell you away from looking at the margins, and he does a good job at it. He's good at his job, and that's why he's where he's at today. And I'm not here to bet against him, but I would take a short-term day trade if we. I'm just pointing these levels out for everybody, because I do know we have members who like to take a trade on Tesla, and we know if we got low volume profile here, we know there was not a lot of volume traded in here. We know there's not as much support there. We definitely get a nice move down. Some of this was, good clean territory that I hadn't been into in a long time. So let's keep it moving here. And this is the dollar. This is a weekly chart. We have broken below that neckline there. SMH, this is the semi sector pulling back here as well. We did have a close, we closed on a high today there, but nothing big. Walmart, we need to get up out of this area. So we come in flagged, kind of tried to push up. It's got to clear, not really a flagpole, but we got to clear this area, the top of this flagpole. We got to get above that. You can see some rejection there in that area today, pulling back. This MACD can do, the way this MACD is sitting right now, we can pinch and push up. This can easily roll back open. It looks like a goose head coming into a bird head, coming into a bill. I like to call it a goose head. You put a little eyeball right there. See if the bill will open up. You want to see the spread back apart, not cross and turn down, but spread back apart, and we'll see price move up. It's right there. It could do anything right now. We need to see a candle or two. XLF pushing into that daily 200 that needs to be cleared. Some really impressive numbers coming into banks compared to what everybody we were thinking we were going to see. And they're out here, of course, the big banks, and we know why, because people are running from the small banks, scared, running into the big banks. So we got ExxonMobil here today. ExxonMobil got an upgrade. So we got a kind of weird contraction zone here. We're trading within this range. We like to see this candle over here, but we've traded within this range. So we're going to look at the same thing. Price is contracting in this tight rectangle here. holding the 9. If we break out of this, we're looking for a move up, expecting price acceleration coming out of this because of the expansion phase, and sometimes that expansion phase can get volatile. Let's keep an eye on that. Remember, we could push up and rip down. A lot of times we'll pull back real quick, which we've seen 2 examples of, snatch back and rip, but it can do that to the upside as well. Get your line drawn. That could be a really good setup. The bank or bonds still struggling here. Looks like we did close above that daily 50. Still trading in that range. IWM trying to clear these daily moving averages. This was moving good today. I didn't trade it myself. I almost did until I looked at this daily chart and realized it was smaller than moving averages. It gets up here, it's on, and you can see now that's the weekly. This is the daily. You can see this is, first I thought it was, when I first seen it, I thought it was because the way this 200's running through here, 200 resistance, it almost looked like an ascending triangle. When I actually drew it, I realized that it's a rising wedge, not an ascending triangle. I'm not a big fan of rising wedges because you can almost get a rising wedge out of any beginning of any uptrend, obviously, because they trend higher and they trend higher. So the thing is, the price is wedging more than expanding. So we like to see price expand when we start to trend. In this case, we're seeing a lot of resistance here coming up. We need to take out that 200 on a daily. We can see a move up. If not, we're only going to hang out here so long before we pull back. That concludes our video for today. I hope we find this helpful, and I will see you in the trading room.